Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Planidin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor, and strong for our own personal well-being. Today, we continue the journey through the best-selling novel called The Source. And it's all about your brain and what a superpower it is. It is the secret to the universe. This is part 3 of the book, and it's all about how agile our brains are. So let's get started. Our agile brain can focus intensely and efficiently on one task at a time. Think in many different ways about the same situation or problem. Switch between these different ways of thinking. Fuse ideas from differing cognitive pathways to devise integrated solutions, and think in a balanced way rather than being wedded to one way of thinking. Yes, being rigid or logical, for example. So this is a book by Dr. Tara Swart, and if you missed the beginning, there is 4 parts to this book, and it really builds up from the law of attraction to how the brain really works, and now the agile brain. And there's 6 components in the agile brain, and they are 6 ways of thinking that correlate with a simplified version of the neural pathways. Emotional intelligence, mastering your emotions. Physicality, knowing yourself inside and out. Gut instinct and intuition, trusting yourself. Motivation, staying resilient to reach your goals. Logic, making good decisions. And creativity, designing your future and ideal life. Acknowledging the benefits of each of these and then learning how to facilitate their power to work together and in balance is the whole brain approach. It gives us exhilarating control over our brains. And I'm going to do each one of those 6 items as a separate episode. Small, shorter tidbit episodes. And the reason for that is because you might be working on just one part that you really want to hone in and improve your skills on. And you can go to that episode directly. And as they get recorded, I will link them in the show notes. So let's continue. Most people tend to have 2 or 3 pathways that they favor, and 2 or 3 that they feel they could draw on under pressure, but which they don't consider a strong skill. There's also likely to be 1 or 2 pathways that we don't use much, if at all. Yes, well, I know mastering my emotional self is my biggest hurdle that I work on all the time. And she says, the problem with underutilized pathways, such as emotional regulation or creative thinking, is that this could indicate that we don't have much capacity in that area, that we are ignoring data from that area, filtering information out because we don't value it, or both. If we ignore data from one pathway, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with decisions. You think you're not creative? What is it that you want to work on? She references that this is a defense mechanism that we all employ to protect ourselves from difficult or painful feelings, rather than engaging with messy vulnerability of the primal feelings we all have. We may choose to bury, disconnect, or ignore them, or project them elsewhere. Building awareness of this can help reconnect us with our less dominant pathways and think in a more integrated way. And I know I mentioned my emotions, and I've done numerous episodes about emotions and mastering your emotions, but I also practice it. I write things down, I think things through. What could have I done better before? Fill in the blank. You might not be dealing with an emotional pathway that needs work like I do. You might be working on your gut instinct or their motivation or even your logic, whatever that is for you. And it can be more than one, right? So I'm going to give you for instance, it's the holiday season and shopping's gone wild, and I practiced holding my emotions as I patiently waited for a sales clerk to find the price of an item. It was on, the regular rack. It wasn't on a sales rack or anything like that. It just didn't have a tag, and it appeared to be the last one. It was the perfect sweater. It was a perfect sweater for my mom. I was so excited. But I wasn't 100% sure about the size. So I told her, I said, I have to be able to return it. Well, she hunted and hunted and hunted for this price for over an hour. And finally, one of the sales managers came up with the price. They said, we'll give it to you as a discount. You've been patiently waiting. And I graciously said, thank you. And when I went to check out, I said, well, I need a gift receipt. And then it told me, well, it's on sale. You can't return it. How long am I expected to control my emotions? So rather than acting or reacting, I said, thank you very much. I won't be taking that. And I walked away. And when I had a moment to myself, I was like, oh man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. By the way, you tell 9 people at least. And in my instance, for that particular instance, I'm telling thousands of people, right? But you tell 9 people about a bad experience, a negative emotion, and you'll tell 3 people about a good one. And that's about it. So keep that in mind. Let's not focus on those negative vibes. I didn't tell you what store I was in, so I just wanted to give you a for instance on how you could practice controlling something or stopping and thinking about something. Just an idea. All right, let's continue. So what do you do? Well, to unblock the pathways, it's much easier to take on a challenge such as becoming more empathetic if it isn't too abstract. And so we need to physically grow a brain pathway by practicing certain behaviors and overriding the current imbalance with new behaviors. And what she means by that is get into great detail, as much detail as possible about what you want to do. Don't make it vague, make it super, super detailed. She says it's particularly important to feel strong in terms of managing your emotions, knowing yourself, physicality, trusting your gut, intuition, and staying motivated to create your life as you want it, rather than to be mostly relying on logic to guide you. And that's where the detail comes in. Raise your awareness of which of these areas may be holding you back. Which of the pathways could be blocked or inaccessible to you because you have clung to an old and unhelpful belief that doesn't serve you? Where do you want to focus? Emotions, physicality, intuition, motivation, logic, or creativity? And it's really important that you balance the logic and emotions. Very, very important. You have the tools within yourself to complete the journey that you dream of. So take a moment, sit back, relax, think about it. Think about where you want to strengthen your agile brain. And then go to that episode that I'm going to link in the show notes below and listen to it, each one in more detail. And like I said, I'm going to keep it as brief as possible because I like the detail, I like the information, and I like to get moving forward. For me personally, I don't need a lot of filler. So if you like the show, share it with somebody you know, and hey, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss these 6 episodes that are coming up. I'll see you then.